We are jazz. Just as soon as it began, we forgot how it started. Like a Coltrane tune, we are so absorbed in trying to follow, to figure it out. We forgot that we are part of it. Every tune needs ears, and every ear needs a tune. Some let the sound wash past them, and others are tapping, clapping, snapping, a slap-happy chorus, embodied instruments, becoming part of the beat. Jazz is a heartbeat. Its heartbeat is yours, said Langston, played Mingus, sang Ella. The sound that swings, blues, and rocks is us, is US. Its dissonance is our politics, its harmony, our dream. The drum thrumps brutal, the master's whip. The cymbals sizzle like native bodies ablaze. The horns dish their musical destiny, while the bass bubbles underneath like God, underscoring the only true sounds, nature and time. Improbable, unfathomable, unconscionable, unconscious, the United States of otherness. We are jazz. African rhythm, played on European instruments, toying with Asian harmonies, in a language made of Middle Eastern letters, while we stand on the first people's land. Yet there is a brutal beauty of any combo, because the instruments are not alike. The players are individuals. None of them belong where they are, and none of them belong together. A Dixieland chorus of separate lines, just lucky to be in the same key, the same room. Yet they make the most beautiful music with depth, beauty, range, heart. Hearty, chop suey. Jazz is a heartbeat. Our heartbeat is jazz.
Thank you, Susannah, for reminding us of all that jazz. Good morning. Such a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Our opening words today are from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Emerson said, among eminent persons, those who are the most dear to men, dare I say, and women, are not of the class which economists call producers. You know, they have nothing in their hands. They have not cultivated corn, nor have they made bread. They have not led out a colony, nor invented a loom. A higher class, in the estimation of this city-building, market-going race of mankind, are the poets, who, from the intellectual kingdom, feed the thought and imagination with ideas and with pictures. The poets. The poets. So who are we? I invite you to take a look at the order of service and join me in speaking to our SUUF, shared affirmation of mission. This fellowship is a welcoming, diverse, and nurturing beloved community that promotes progressive religious thought and practice to create a more just and sustainable world. So we've got news of the day, some announcements to share this morning. Let's start with the Outreach Committee. We're very excited, by the way, just with the work that the Outreach Committee is doing. And they would like to remind everyone that today is the last day that we will be collecting snacks and cash or check donations today for the Sedona Community Food Bank after school snack program. For individually wrapped snacks and juices and fruit. And of course, you can still drop them off at Penny's or Cora's house. Please see our November newsletter for more details and information. You can contact Penny or Cora or Jan Oswald. Pat has an announcement that we have decided to discontinue our scheduled virtual ladies' lunch meeting on Zoom. Though the link is still available if you'd like to schedule one on your own. Please see details in the November newsletter. If you are interested, may I say firing that up again, please see Pat. Sarah Ann Fread has an announcement for us. For those who are interested in helping the Sedona homeless population, beyond what we already do, which we learned, thank all the SUUF folks who turned out to the last PFLAG meeting, which focused on the Sedona Area Homeless Alliance. And they're always in need of more supplies and volunteers. I have a phone number I'm going to read, but it is available for you later, 928-978-9387. Our friends Laurie and Wing, who have spent decades making sure the homeless folks in Sedona have an alternative. They're doing wonderful work, and we salute them. The Verde Valley Voices presents their Christmas concert, featuring an extremely eclectic variety of Christmas music, from beautiful chorals to whimsical parodies, Make a note, it's Sunday afternoon, December 12th. From the SUUF board, we have an announcement that Peggy Connect has graciously purchased, and we do say graciously, 100 of these books. I want to do a show and tell. 100 questions that non-members ask about UU. Or as I like to say, who are y'all? What tomato truck did you fall off of? What y'all believe in, where you come from, where you're going. I always, when folks ask me that, I say, well, let me give you a big context. They say there are about 2 billion Christians in the world, about 1.7 billion Muslims in the world, some 28 million people who follow the Jewish way of tradition and life, and then you got them Unitarians. About 800,000 around the world, period. About 125,000 in the U.S. I say we small but tall. So again, please consider picking this up. I think it's a $5 donation dropping in the box. And I think if you're a member, you would find it helpful as well. Yeah, 100 questions, people. People always ask about us. I'm okay with that. My concern is when they stop asking questions. Please join Unify Sedona, a Rainbow Alliance, P-Flag Sedona Verde Valley, the League of Women Voters of Northern Arizona, and the Sedona International Film Festival to view the film, see you there. Hear a panel discussion, engage in dialogue with the panel, and remember transgender people who have lost their lives to violence in 2021. It's going to be November 20 at 7 p.m. at the Mary Fisher Theater. Get tickets at SedonaFilmFestival.com. Let us take a deep breath together as we light what I call the umbrella under which we all stand, as we light the chalice.
Whenever I see the chalice light, I feel my spirit soar, and even in the darkest night, I know I need no more. Our cause is big and boldly shot through clouds of fog and fear. We light the way for humankind and show our pathway clear. Ignorance and bias strife, yet they will not prevail, for truth and right are still alive, and so we cannot fail. The universe of ours are life resides a while in me. So I must keep my vision bright, that all the world can see.
Again, words about our own Craig, and you thought I was just a professor type guy. Harder. Yes, indeed. That was a beautiful thing. So, welcome officially. Greetings and blessings, everyone. And I welcome you in the name of the ancestors, upon whose shoulders I stand. And please know that I welcome you in the name of all that is holy and sacred for you. Today is a special day. I got my wish. I asked for some poets. I did a call. And you know what I got back? You know I love response. So I put out a call and I got a response. So I'll say a little one of mine I wrote to kind of open this up. I'm empathetic, not sympathetic. Sometimes ascetic. Most of the time just plain poetic. I got a poet's license, don't you get it? I have to find that rainbow. I cannot not forget it. See, I'm a rainbow chaser and a word slayer. Long ball hitter and a phrase player. Image maker, rhythm shaker, fear-facing, woman-loving. Got dozens of word biscuits in my poetic oven. I love to serve. Servant to love. Yeah, tree hugger. Relationship debugger. Poets, we are the guardians of that uncontrollable release. Poets got license. We be the creative police. And I can feel it, and I know you know it. So here this day, I give you license. Go ahead. Be a poet. Our first poem was requested by Ruth Waddell. It was written by David Chorlton for John Waddell, and his sculpture in honor of the 4 girls that died in the Birmingham Baptist Church bombing in 1963. The poem is entitled That Which Might Have Been, read by Helen.
That Which Might Have Been, Birmingham, 1963. Light runs its course across 4 women each day, from early red to the late purple shadows running off into the trees where colors run together. Cast with the axis of the earth running through them, their bodies grow strong from carrying the weight of possibilities. The monument is memory taking form. When the newspapers have turned yellow and the files have closed on Birmingham from the day it outgrew Alabama, the figures put down roots in our imaginations. Step inside and breathe with them. Feel the muscles tighten. Speak with their voices and experience the energy it takes to stand up in the fire when taking back the spirit from the flesh. and giving it a shape in bronze.
Thank you. Next, we have an original poem by Jan Oswald. The poem is entitled, Come Out of the Darkness. Jan, please.
Thank you. This was written at the beginning of the end of 2020, beginning of the pandemic. Come out of the darkness. As we approach the end of a very different year, a year filled with darkness, pain, and loss, a year of brokenness, at times too much to bear, a year of change, for many an empty chair at mealtime, for many a time of hopelessness and despair. And yet there's something that gives us the ability to see the light. It may be a child's face, a pet's love, a partner's warm embrace, a phone call, a smile from a stranger. Yes, life goes on and on, often when we don't want it to.
Thank you, Jan. Our next poem was requested by Barbara Warren. It's a John O'Donohue poem entitled For Friendship, and it will be read by Tanya.
For friendship. May you be blessed with good friends and learn to be a good friend yourself, journeying to that place in your soul where there is love, warmth, and feeling. May this change you. May it transfigure what is negative, distant, or cold within your heart. May you be brought into real passion, kindness, and belonging. May you treasure your friends. May you be good to them, be there for them, and receive all the challenges, truth, and light that you need. May you never be isolated, but know the embrace of your Anam Kara.
We now have another original poem written by Joyce Recek. It is entitled Morning Meditation. Joyce, please.
I love the look of mountains in the morning, slowly escaping from the darkness, shaking off the stars as they seek dawn's first light. Rising mist softens their jagged edges, while clouds and clinging remnants of night conceal their massive height. The sun is yet to rise, the birds are yet to sing, and even the breeze stands still in this moment of emergence. The fading night first yields to a tentative ray of sunlight, delicate and impermanent, and after what seems like a false start, the sky suddenly is illuminated with the sun's increasing crescendo of golden lace. Clouds play ring toss on the highest peaks, while sunlight and shadow play hide and seek across their giant faces. And if you listen carefully, an owl clinging to the night answers the call of another, not ready for sleep, while the muffled cry of a newborn cub is faintly heard within a cavern hidden from view. Wildlife frolic in their nooks and crannies, giving birth in caves and meadows. Birds adorn the trees like Christmas ornaments. Hawks float above the landscape in quiet grace. Wildflowers appear suddenly, but soon disappear, like clothes packed away for another season. The world has awakened, and mountains, these majestic mountains, continue to shoulder the very building blocks of life, from pine forests to alpine meadows, hidden lakes and streams, to waterfalls both silent and roaring. And in the quiet of this misty morning, the circle of life continues to contract and expand with the influence of weather and chime.
Amen. From the circle of life. Thank you, Joyce. Our next poem was requested by Lydia Johnson. It was written by, you guessed it, yours truly. It is entitled Poetry Is and will be read by Paul Friedman.
Poetry is an offering, whose mask sometimes asks, but most time demands, we grow through it. We cannot really go through it. Poetry invites you to answer the call and stop checking the caller ID. Poetry speaks to lifelines instead of deadlines. Poetry reminds us to remember Goliath lost. Poetry sounds the gavel, announcing that all authentic art is time travel. We go someplace else, and yet we're still here. A language version of sleight of hand, my dear. Poetry invites us to grow through it. Poetry whose web too tight to go through it. Be with poetry. It belongs to you.
Go placidly amid the noise and the haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even the dull and the ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexatious to the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain or bitter, for always there will be greater and lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. But let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself. Especially do not feign affection. Neither be cynical about love, for in the face of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Take kindly the counsel of the years, gracefully surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune, but do not distress yourself with dark imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars. You have a right to be here, and whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, whatever you conceive him to be, and whatever your labors and aspirations in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace in your soul. With all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. Be cheerful, strive to be happy.
It is truly that. A beautiful world in spite of it all. Which now we'll have an original poem written by Cynthia Strom. She entitled her poem, This Is My America. Cynthia.
Seeing, musing, imagining, sitting on the steps of the New York Public Library in spring 2017. A young boy loaded down with books, a yarmulke covering his head, eager to delve into the new treasures he's carrying. He scurries down the street. He sees the bus stopped on the corner and he hopes the light doesn't turn green before he reaches his ride. A graceful older woman with jet black hair, wearing her traditional glittering red and gold sari, floats past other walkers, holding the hand of a tiny child who is dressed to match in her red and gold suit. A thin, elderly black man, distinctive in his navy blazer, grasps his cane, kindly but proudly refuses help that is proffered, and makes his way up the library steps to trade his stack of history books for those as yet unread. The young Asian couple walks by, holding hands. Beneath her bosom, she carries their unborn baby. They whisper together, laughter bubbling up, excitement and hope shining in their eyes. Another couple strolls arm in arm, smiling and talking with grace and charm, clearly in love and doing the town. One man is white, one man is brown. A young woman on a bench across the street works on her laptop, a calm, sweet expression on her face. She is serene in her long violet abaya that matches the gauzy hijab covering her hair. Two erudite gray-haired gentlemen, pale from hours of studying in closed rooms, walk briskly with their professorial briefcases, speaking multisyllabic words, smoking pipes as their words and smoke drift away above their heads. A wise and wizened Native American couple, their kind brown faces worn from years of sun and caring, speak softly in their traditional tongue as they load multiple grocery bags into a well-used pickup with a sign in the window, American Indian Community House, food for the hungry. 3 Hispanic nuns in black cotton habits, gleaming with bibs and crosses, strung on gold chains around their necks, greet everyone they meet. Hola, hola, hola. They stop to buy a, whoops, where am I? They stop to buy a bag of groceries from the Native American couple for a small child with frightened eyes and her mother, who shyly holds up a sign, will work for food. The Native Americans smile and wave, driving past the nuns, who now walk with the frail mother and comfort her child. This is my America.
With your permission, I want to claim some of that America too. Thank you, Cynthia. Jan will honor us now with another of her original poems. This one is entitled The Sun.
The day is just beginning when I go to bed. The clock has a way of moving on when I want it to slow down or stop. News of the world's loss is frightening. Perhaps that thought is not allowing me to sleep like a normal person, whatever that is. Often I'm afraid to open the computer. Today I learned of a friend's passing. Nothing to tell me why, just she passed in the night. May her family and friends find peace in that she didn't suffer. Not that helpful, especially at this time. I, for one of many, am grateful for knowing her.
Thank you. Our next poem was requested by Ruth Waddell, written by Tagor. It is entitled Fireflies. I'm going to ask Tanya to read the second one, also requested by Ruth, written by Tagor, entitled Stray Birds. Tanya, please.
I touch God in my song as the hill touches the faraway sea with its waterfall. Stray birds. The fish in the water is silent. The animal on the earth is noisy. The bird in the air is singing. But man has in him the silence of the sea, the noise of the earth, and the music of the air.
Yes. Joyce, would you honor us with another of your original poems, if you would, please? This one is entitled Unanswered Questions.
And this was written a year ago, November, as lockdown looked like it was about to end. And here we are a year later. But there was a lot of hope. President Biden had been elected, and it looked like there was going to be a new day. So it's time to question ourselves. And when this is over, when the solitude ends, when reunions begin with the family and friends who retreated within, what will you remember? When each day has substance and purpose and form, when unplanned existence returns to some norm, what will be important? The loosely strung days and undefined nights soon will have edges and shadows and light. A solo refrain will drift off in the blue and be drowned out by voices both familiar and new. Who will you be? The layers of doubt, of suffocate fear, will have fallen away, revealing a sphere so clearly devoid of all that was here. What did you learn? Who are you now? Where did you emerge? Why are you hesitating? When will you again breathe life?
This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight.
Is there anything left to be said about the blaze of autumn leaves? The way they let go with such graciousness, how they dance on the wind and crunch under the feet and glow in the afternoon light. Maybe just this. The colors fade. They turn sodden as milky cereal in the gutters and sidewalk. The trees look tattered and then vulnerable and exposed. It turns out that loss is really loss, which is every bit as much a part of the story as autumn's glamour. Listen, you are not obliged to be beautiful. You don't have to shine. Blooming will happen when it happens. If you can be still for a moment, you might notice that the roots that feed you are still reaching silently through the dark.
Barbara Warren requested our next poem. It is a poem written by John Donahue. It is entitled Oppressors.
Awaken to the mystery of being here and enter the quiet immensity of your own presence. Have joy and peace in the temple of your senses. Receive encouragement when new frontiers beckon. Respond to the call of your gift and the courage to follow its path. Let the flame of anger free you of all falsity. May warmth of hearth keep your presence aflame. May anxiety never linger about you. May your outer dignity mirror an inner dignity of soul. Take time to celebrate the quiet miracles that seek no attention. Be consoled in the secret symmetry of your soul. May you experience each day as a sacred gift woven around the heart of wonder.
Thank you, Helen. We have an original poem at this time, written by the one and only Bill Golightly. Please. It is entitled Hero Image and will be shared with us by Ron. Ron, please.
Lately, I've been looking over my life, where I dropped the ball and kept on running for the goalpost. Slowly, I'm letting go of the hero image of myself by becoming one with the truth I left behind.
Thank you, Ron. Thank you, Bill. Our next poem was requested by Paul Friedman. It was written by Lana, Hechtman, Ayers. It is entitled 2020.
It's a touching poem that attempts to speak for all of us about the pandemic period. that we all have and still are going through together. This was the year breath became death, the year grandparents and great-grandparents left us by the thousands, taking their wisdom with them into the great oxygen mask of the heavens. This was the year we covered our mouths and smiled with our eyes, if we were able to smile at all. The year handshakes became passé and hugs a mass hallucination we once had. This was the year we transformed into a tribe of screens. The year we finally acknowledged how crucial delivery drivers and supermarket stock clerks are. First responders, heroes, now more than ever. This was the year we remembered how to bake bread, learned how to garden. The year we discovered different species of trees possess distinctive aromas. This was the year we binge-watched and wore out pajamas. The year we took our pens up and our notebooks seriously. This was the year we discovered the zen of hand-washing, observed all the delicate shadows the moon tats across night lawns. This was the year we canceled weddings, Christmas, but this was also the year we took unscheduled strolls in the forest alone. The year we feared air and loved air and drove less, thus clearing the air. This was the year we did more fretting, more regretting. We vowed to vote and kept our promises to ourselves and others. This was the year we stood up to racial injustice in the myriad ways we could, in the streets, on Facebook, writing to our senators, calling for action against police brutality, donating to causes, celebrating artists of color, holding our white tongues so the underrepresented could be heard, acknowledged, admired. This was the year we used our phones to make actual calls, voice to voice, not just for texts and emojis. The year we cried and shook our heads and wrung our hands at the headlines. This was the year we lost sleep, lost heart, found hope in action. This is the year we said, I love you, over and over. Sometimes to the person on the other side of the glass, sometimes to songbirds, sometimes to ourselves. The year we said, I love you, to our fragile earth. Said, I love you. I love you to the universe, and I love my humble place in it, no matter what.
Yeah. 2020. We have another original written by our departed SUUF friend, Barbara Mayer. It is entitled Blessing, and it is read by Susannah.
Those of us who journey back beyond primeval roots. Those of us who seek a dream which some won't comprehend. Those of us who travel far within the Spirit's flow know there is always more. Take the beauty of the desert with its glow of sunset gold. Take the highest peak and river's rumbling depth. Take the freshness of the earth and the restless heart of woman and of man. Then spill an ocean over them until all are lost in a wondrous sea of love. Bless the ancient mother of this crystal planet home. Bless the light which calls within our spirit and our soul. Bless the thirst in each of us to truly find our way, and be blessed within the oneness of divinity. Be the center of the journey. Be the soul of music's sound. Be the tide in perfect balance, and the secret in the mist. Be the word which has no speaking in the poetry of life. Be the gift which makes your living such a total act of love. Be bless, be centered, be love, and be peaceful in the flow.
Yes. May we all be peaceful in the flow. I invite you to close your eyes now. Be as peaceful as you can be. Listen to the flow, feel the flow. Let's share a moment of silence together. Indeed. And from this place of grace, let us remind ourselves that we have been warmed by fires that we did not build. We have all drank from wells that we did not dig. So we give thanks for this moment. Thanks for our blessings. We also acknowledge our needs. So the needs of this nurturing community known as the SUUF Fellowship and offertory will now be taken. So now is the time to honor the joys and concerns of this beautiful community. And I have one joy right away. And that's we have some new folks amongst us. So I'm not going to do it and ask you to come up to the microphone like we used to do this. doing the COVID honoring again. But if I could ask you just to raise your hand if this is your first time paying us a visit, so that we can say, yay, welcome. Welcome. Yes, yes, yes. We have here one Joy here this morning. Craig and Cornelia Hartley have a joy. They have successfully moved out of their sole residence in Sedona, and they're on their way to their new gigs in Lakewood, Colorado. Yeah, Craig says, we're trying out a senior living facility to be near our eldest daughter and her husband and their second son and family. Recently augmented by a baby girl in June of 2021. We will miss our friends at SUUF, but are confident that you will survive and prosper with Anthony leading the spiritual charge. Bless your soul. Happy trails, Craig and Cornelia Hartley. I hadn't read that before. All right. So we wish them a safe and wondrous journey, yeah? Yeah, indeed. All right, part 4. This is our closing. I have an original poem written by that young man, dare I say, that young man with his 90-something-year-old self when we would meet for our men's meetings few years ago, and he would insist on sitting to my right no matter how we set it up for our morning breakfast. Oh, he just blew my mind. Of course, some of y'all know who I'm talking about, none other than the great John Waddell. These are his words. His poem is entitled Sweet Air. Bodies moving on the ever-varying morphs of earth, moving every joint and connection, responding to earth and life and air. Loving each other, reveling in differences. I got to underscore that. Reveling in differences, not fearing change, cautious in question, but not skeptical of revelation or of the unknown. Finding intricate and new ways to shape and form, rework and turn the mind in some exquisite landscape where we are all angels and souls. Pass through each other in understanding that the ways are myriad and that they have not been trespassed. Waiting these ways, they are for your passage, for they have no end. And they rapidly shift to other planes and dimensions where the slippery solutions to problems enfold before unfolding. And when unfolded, they evaporate. Opening the eyes, we see there is no path. There is no path, but only ways where tendrils metamorph and the most delicate prayer not yet known to me. John Waddell. How about them sweet words? Huh? 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 Yeah. Come on. Yeah, give it up. Man, I was going to read one, but I'm feeling like that. I want to flow with that and just walk out on that tendril, take in what a metamorphosis like that might actually feel like in the most delicate prayer not known to us. What we got, Susannah? Wild Geese, that's what I'm looking for. By Mary Oliver, requested by Chris Bye. We say that one for last.
You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese high in the clean blue air are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things.
We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, the world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way.
Yeah. Yes, we are. Put them hands together for all those poets, too. Let's give it up. Let's give it up. Love it, love it, love it. So, peace and freedom is our cry. I see peace and freedom in front of me. I see peace and freedom behind me. I see peace and freedom to the left of me, and there it is hanging out to the right of me. I see peace and freedom above me, and I feel peace and freedom below me. So my offering to you, each and every one, is peace and freedom. Until we meet again. May it be so.